Okay, quick lesson. Is art subjective or objective? Now let's start with this painting by Paul Gauguin. It's called The Yellow Christ, which is pretty self-explanatory. Now, do you like this painting? Yes or no? If you answer yes, then that is a subjective answer. If you answer no, then that is a subjective answer. So basically, art is about your opinion, which makes art so diverse and wide ranged is that it is subjective because an objective answer would be a fact. Can't talk about Paul Gauguin without talking about Vincent van Gogh. He painted this self-portrait after he had cut off his ear. And if you notice, look at those streaks and paintbrushes in his style. You can even see them in this painting, The Night Cafe, one of my favorite Van Goghs. But you can't talk about Van Gogh without his most famous painting, Starry Night. Look at those brushstrokes and think about that subjective versus objective. Is this a good painting? That's a subjective question, so the answer has to be subjective. A great way to talk about subjective versus objective will be abstract versus representational, because that's usually people's cup of tea. Now, this will be representational because it represents people. This will be representational because it represents something. This would be representational because it represents a KKK mask. This is one of my paintings, by the way. This would be representational because it represents a goat. This is also one of my paintings. But this would be abstract. This is Mark Rothko, one of the most famous abstract artists ever. And this is one of my paintings and Mark Rothko side by side. Now I want you to keep in mind that abstract usually represents nothing. It's usually almost random, arbitrary, or it represents an idea. So it's not representational or representing something. Versus representational, you should be able to identify it, like this Michelle Obama. Now, are you a fan of abstract art or representational art? Again, that's your subjective opinion. The way that we view art is completely subjective.